Hello my dear friends, I am Deepak Vanjani. Today we will solve some examples related to electric field. First we will solve example 1.8. In example 1.8 what is given? An electron falls through a distance of 1.5 centimeter. Distance is given to us d, that is 1.5 centimeter, in a uniform electric field of magnitude 2 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. Magnitude of electric field E is given to us 2 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb, as shown in figure 1.13a. Here in this figure, two metallic plates are given which are unlikely charge. On first plate positive charge is distributed, on second plate negative charge is distributed, and we know that direction of electric field is from positive to negative. The direction of the field is reversed, keeping the magnitude unchanged, and a proton falls through a same distance, figure 1.13b. In second figure, here polarity is reversed. First plate, that is positively charged, and second plate, that is negatively charged. Direction of electric field will remain same from positive to negative. In first figure, direction of electric field is in upward direction. In second figure, direction of electric field is in downward direction. In first figure, electron falls in downward direction. In second figure, proton falls in downward direction. Compute the time of fall in each case. We have to find time of fall for both the particles, electron and proton. Contrast the situation with that of free fall under gravity. Okay, let us see the solution. Distance d is equal to 1.5 centimeter, electric field 2 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. Time taken by electron to travel this distance and time taken by proton to travel this distance we have to find. Here both the particles are kept in electric field, so which type of force will act? Electric force. And we know the formula of electric force, F is equal to QE. In terms of electric field, formula of force F is equal to QE, because E is equal to F by Q, therefore F is equal to QE. But we know that force F is equal to M into A, mass into acceleration. So F is equal to QE, therefore we can write MA is equal to QE. If we make A subject, A is equal to QE by M, equation number 1. Here in equation number 1, charge, that is constant, electric field, that is constant, and mass of given particle is also constant. So we can say that acceleration is constant. For uniformly accelerated motion, we have studied total 3 kinematic equations. We can use here this kinematic equation, d is equal to v naught t plus half at square. Here particle starts from rest, therefore initial velocity, that is 0, v naught is equal to 0, therefore d is equal to half at square. If we make t square subject, then t square is equal to 2d by a, therefore t is equal to under root 2d by a. First we have to find time taken by electron. So for electron, if we find acceleration, then from equation 1, A is equal to QE by M. So AE is equal to Q, that is charge of electron, that is small e, into magnitude of electric field E upon mass of electron ME. Here we don't have to take minus because we are finding magnitude of acceleration. Therefore we have to take EE by ME. Magnitude of charge of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. Electric field is given to us 2 into 10 raised to 4 upon mass of electron, that is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. Substitute all this value and calculate. You will get 0.35 into 10 raised to 16. So this can be written as 3.5 into 10 raised to 15 meter per second square. Acceleration of electron is available to us. Substitute the value of acceleration of electron in the equation of time, then we will get time taken by electron to travel this distance, T is equal to under root 2d by AE, under root 2 distance, that is 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 2. Why we have taken 10 raised to minus 2? Because distance is given to us, that is 1.5 centimeter. If we convert it into meter, then it will be 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. upon 3.5 into 10 raised to 15. If we solve, then we will get 0.857 into 10 raised to minus 17. Here we can't take square root of 10 raised to minus 17. So we have to convert the power in even number. So it can be written as under root 8.57 into 10 raised to minus 18. If we take the square root of 8.57, it comes out to be 2.9, and square root of 10 raised to minus 18, that is 10 raised to minus 9 second. Here for proton, if we have to find time, then first we have to find acceleration of proton. AP is equal to charge of proton, that is E, magnitude of electric field E upon mass of proton. Charge, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, electric field 2 into 10 raised to 4, mass 1.67 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg. Therefore we will get acceleration of proton to be 1.9 into 10 raised to 12 meter per second square. Time taken by proton to travel this distance, Tp is equal to under root 2d by AP. 2 into d, distance travelled by proton, that is 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 2. Acceleration of proton, that is 1.9 into 10 raised to 12, already we found. So we will get Tp is equal to 1.3 into 10 raised to minus 7 second. If you compare time taken by electron and time taken by proton, then the heavier particle takes a greater time to fall through the same distance. Here if we consider the case of free fall under gravity, then it is independent of mass. This is in contrast to the situation free fall under gravity, where the time of fall is independent of mass of the body. Time of fall does not depend on mass for both the particle, time taken by proton and time taken by electron. When we consider free fall under gravity, it comes out to be same. But when we consider time taken by proton and time taken by electron, due to force experienced by these particles due to electric field, then time taken by proton is more than time taken by electron. So this is the contrast between free fall under gravity and force experienced by particles due to electric field. In this example, electron is moving in downward direction. Why? Because we know that negatively charged particle experiences force in the direction opposite to electric field. So direction of electric field is in upward direction, therefore electron experiences force in downward direction. But if we consider second figure of this numerical, then in this proton is moving in downward direction, in the same direction of electric field. Why? Because positively charged particle experiences electric force in the same direction of electric field. Once again, negatively charged particle experiences force in the direction opposite to electric field, and positively charged particle experiences force in the direction of electric field. In this example, we have not considered effect of gravity. Why? Because value of gravitational acceleration is 9.8 meter per second square, while acceleration of electron and acceleration of proton due to electric force is very large, that is of the order of 10 to the power 15 meter per second square and 10 to the power 12 meter per second square for electron and proton respectively, which is much greater than acceleration due to gravity. Therefore, we have neglected the effect of gravity in this example. Next example, example 1.9. 2 point charges Q1 and Q2 of magnitude 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb and 10 raised to minus 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb respectively are placed 0.1 meter apart. Here two charges Q1 and Q2 are given. Both are having same magnitude but opposite polarity. One is positive charge and another is negative charge, and they are separated by distance 0.1 meter. Calculate the electric fields at points A, B and C as shown in figure. At three different points A, B and C, we have to find electric field. Okay, solution of example 1.9. First, we have to find electric field at point A. If we consider electric field at point A due to first charge, then direction of electric field due to positive charge is in which direction? Radially outward. It means here direction of electric field at this point is away from Q1. It means in this direction, that is E1A. Okay. due to negative charge, direction of electric field is radially inward. It means towards negative charge. So direction of electric field E to A will be towards right. Okay. Here E1A and E2A, electric field due to first charge and electric field due to second charge at point A, both are in the same direction. Therefore, resultant electric field will be in the same direction. That is net electric field at point A that I am taking EA. So first we have to find E1A, then we will find E2A, and then we will find total electric field. First charge, that is 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb. Second charge, that is minus 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb. Electric field at A due to Q1, that is E1A. We know the formula of electric field due to point charge. Electric field due to point charge is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square. Here we have taken electric field due to first charge, so 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R1A square. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is 9 into 10 raised to 9. Q1 10 raised to minus 8 upon R1A. Distance of first charge from point A is 0.05 meter, so that will be 0.05 square. If we solve this, we will get 3.6 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. Electric field at A due to Q2. Electric field at A due to Q2 is given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 upon R2A square. That is the formula of electric field due to point charge. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is 9 into 10 raised to 9. Q2 is given to us 10 raised to minus 8. Here we don't have to take negative. We have to take just magnitude, because here I have not taken vector. Therefore, just take magnitude positive value 10 raised to minus 8 upon 0.05 square. That will give you 3.6 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. Hence, the magnitude of the total electric field EA at A is given by total electric field is nothing but EA is equal to E1A plus E2A. Why we have taken summation? Because both the electric fields E1A and E2A both are in the same direction. Therefore, we can add them algebraically. E1A plus E2A. 7.2 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. First, that is 3.6 into 10 raised to 4. Second, that is 3.6 into 10 raised to 4. If we take 10 raised to 4 common, then 3.6 plus 3.6 will give us 7.2. 7.2 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb is the answer. That is the electric field at point A. If we consider direction, then direction of electric field is towards right. In right direction, towards negative charge. Now we have to find electric field at point B. If we consider electric field at point B due to Q1 that is positive charge, then due to positive charge electric field is radially outward. So electric field is radially outward. That is E1B. Okay. Electric field due to negative charge is radially inward. It means toward negative charge. Then electric field towards negative charge, that is E2B. Here length of arrow indicates strength of electric field. Here length of E1B is more than E2B. Why? Because here Q1 is near to B and Q2 is far away from B. Therefore, electric field due to Q1 will be more and electric field due to Q2 will be less. Now, electric field due to first charge is more, then resultant electric field will be in the direction of E1B. So this will be the direction of EB, net electric field at point B. Similarly, E1B is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R1B square. Q1 10 raised to minus 8, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 9 into 10 raised to 9. R1B, that is the distance of first charge from point B, that is 0.05 square. 3.6 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. E2B, then 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 upon R2B square. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is 9 into 10 raised to 9. Q2, that is 10 raised to minus 8. We have to take magnitude. R2B, that is the distance of second charge from point B, that is 0.15 square. If you solve this, then its value will be 4 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per coulomb. Electric field at point B, if you want in the power of 10 to the power 4, then it will be 0.4 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per Coulomb. The magnitude of the total electric field at B is EB is equal to E1B minus E2B. Here E1B and E2B both are in the same direction, but E1B is greater than E2B. Therefore, E1B minus E2B we have to take. When both the vectors are in the same direction, then to find resultant vector we have to just add them. If both the vectors are in the opposite direction, then to find a resultant vector we have to subtract them. EB is equal to E1B minus E2B. That will give us the magnitude of electric field at point B, and it comes out to be 3.2 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per Coulomb, because E1B is 3.6 into 10 raised to 4 and E2B, that is 0.4 into 10 raised to 4. If we take 10 raised to 4 common, then 3.6 minus 0.4 will give us 3.2. 3.2 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per Coulomb. EB vector is directed towards left. EA vector is towards right. EB vector is towards left. Okay, now the magnitude of electric field at point C we have to find due to charge Q1 and Q2. Electric field at point C we have to find now. Electric field at point C due to positive charge, radially outward. So in this direction, electric field due to positive charge, that is E1C. Okay, electric field due to negative charge, E2C, radially inward toward negative charge, so that will be E2C. Here point C is at a distance 0.1 meter from first charge and is at distance 0.1 meter from second charge. Therefore, electric field due to first charge and electric field due to second charge will be same magnitude wise. Only direction will be different. If we have to find net electric field, then net electric field will be in this direction. Just we have to complete the parallelogram, and the diagonal will give us direction of net electric field, that is EC. Okay. The magnitude of electric field at point C due to charge Q1 and Q2 is E is equal to E1C is equal to E2C. As I told you, magnitude will be same. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is 9 into 10 raised to 9. Magnitude of charge 10 raised to minus 8, and distance, that is 0.1 square. Finally, we will get 9 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per Coulomb. Now, if we find the angle between E1C and E2C, then that angle is 120 degree. So, electric field, net electric field at point C, EC is equal to under root पहले का square, that is E1C square, plus second का square E2C square, plus 2E1C E2C cos 120. We know the value of cos 120, that is minus 1 by 2. E1C, that is E, E2C, that is E. So instead of E1C we can write E. E1C square, E square, E2C square, E square, plus 2 E into E square into minus 1 by 2. 2 will get cancelled. Finally we will get EC is equal to E. But what is E? 9 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per Coulomb. So net electric field at point C is 9 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per Coulomb. What is the direction of EC? EC vector is directed towards right. Next time we will discuss about electric dipole. Till then, try to solve exercise numericals 1.8, 1.12, 1.13 and 1.14 of NCERT book. Thank you.